Well, here we are, early to the party. We've had a moment, we're having a moment of clarity here, but I just want to make sure that everything's on and everybody's ready. Something new from Clarity. Check out, look where we are. It's been a while since we put some grid wall up, I can tell you. Come on in, hello, Debbie Berry, I love you, all the way from Texas. Debbie, when was the last time we put grid wall up, eh? Gosh, come on in, it's lovely to have your company. All the way from Texas. Yeah. We decided, because we can't go to the shows at the moment, we thought we'd bring the shows to you. How's that? You overwhelm me, Debbie Berry. Come on in, come on, we're not starting till 3 o'clock. So I can gather me thoughts. Look, I'm standing up even. Because you know, if you've ever seen us at an exhibition, you'll never have seen me sitting down. You may see me keel over at the end of the day, but I never sit down. I'm always standing at my podium, aren't I? In fact, I've still got this really old as dirt wooden podium that I've used for I don't know how many years. I bought it in the States 25 years ago, and it's got a little, it's even got a little drawer and all that. And it's just raised the whole occasion. So now I'm properly at the show. And we've laid out, Paul came over this morning, and we put out everything that we're going to be using. Yeah. And it's just like the Shack. It's chilled, but it's us. Come on in. Great to have your company. We're early. Is anyone else there apart from us two, Debbie? What do you think? Yeah, I knew you'd join in. Come on. It's going to be really cool, you know, because like I said, we can't get to the shows, we can't get to the exhibitions, we have to stay safe. And so we thought once a month we'd have a moment of clarity and we'd bring the show to you. So you have to pretend now, you've got to pretend that we're at, I don't know, whichever show you go to. What's your show? Ali Pali maybe? The NEC? Maybe Glasgow or Harrogate? Or Port Sunlight, whichever show it is, there am I with my little podium with a load of grid wall in the back with the stash. Remember? Ah, those are the days. Well, it seems like it's going to be a little while before we can do that again safely. So in the meantime, let's hang out together and be safe. Come on in. Hi, Josie. Yeah, Josie's doing groovy stuff. I'm glad to have your company, Josie. So if we have a look here, are we ready to go yet? Is it 3 o'clock? Paul, are you in the building? Is the sound good? Our lovely Paul Church is going to be keeping you company. So if you're looking for anything, then Paul will be helping you. This is our answer to an exhibition. And so what we've done is we've taken a couple of really nice products actually from the Shack, you know, and we've turned it into stamps and things like that, and taken the concept, and we're going to present it to you. I'm going to take my time though, because I know that many of you've actually bought the stamps and masks up in advance, and I do apologise if it didn't come in time. We certainly turned all the orders around as quickly as we could, so you know, once it leaves our building, it's out of our hands really. We don't have that control. But I do know that many of you are all poised, aren't you? You're all poised, ready to craft along. So we're going to take it slowly, going to take it easy, and travel gently, as we say. And we're going to just put these beautiful stamps and things through their paces, learn loads of tricks and tips. And if you haven't got them and you want them, then Paul will give you the link for any of the material and the products that we're using today. We hope to be, it's going to be about an hour, the show. And if it takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer, you know, but it's about an hour. That should be plenty. A little class demonstration with loads of tricks and tips and so on. I want to show you, if I may, where the idea came from for for this particular set of stamps, and then you'll see what we're at. Now, I've got the same cameras going here. There we are. Now, do you remember, if you were in the Shack with me, perhaps you remember when we did this really intricate doodle with the word love. Some of us put hope or faith or Dave. Check out the date that we did this. This was the 16th and 17th of April last year. So that was like not even 3 weeks into our lockdown. Imagine that. Yeah. And so what we've done, Clever Lucy at work. Are you ready to begin? Let me take my other glasses off then, and let's get started. Right, here we go. Okay. Now, what we've done is we've taken this particular design and we've turned it into a very, very clever set of stamps. Now, let's have a look over here. Come with me. I'm going to show you on the stand, right? You can see here, this is exactly the way it is at the stand. Hang on a minute, don't go away. Don't wander off yet. We've only just started. Right, so you see, if you look at the stamps, let's have a look up above. Right, there you go. So you can see here, what we've done is we took away, we extracted, this is the magic of it, we extracted the word love, and Clever Lucy, she took it out and dropped it in here. So this is a separate stamp, but then it's not only a separate stamp, it's two separate stamps. So we've got the outline and the infill. So we'll use that as well, right? So this is really clever. This is a pencil drawing. This is all done with pen and ink. This is the Shack, isn't it? Right, now, come back. Come on. So the next thing that we used is, because then I said to Lucy, well, what about if we make some masks? These would be great. So what we've got also is a pack of masks. And when we open these up, let me show you. These are excellent. Excellent. There's so much mileage in these masks. Feel good words, right? Now have a look. So you'll see here, we've got magic, dream, wish, smile, peace, love, laugh, joy, and light. Oh, hang on, and luck. Right, so we've got 10 of them. Okay, so we're going to be using those as well. They're really, really peach. They're so useful. So, like I say, there's a great price attached to these products. This is in the main, this is what we're going to be using today. These prices, these introductory prices, will stay as they are until next Friday. Okay? Right, so if you want them, get them. Maybe you want to see what I'm going to do with them first. That's okay too. And the other thing that I've got, just in case you're a groover, a parcher, we've got the same beautiful, intricate work, right, in a groovy plate. So you can see here, and make a note of these little hearts because they're so effective. Right, so there you go. Paul will give you the links. That's where that is. And there's a starter kit as well. Look. Starter kit for your groovers. So let me show you something, because you're going to say, right, well, what's the difference? Let's check something out. Let's say, for example, this is the doodle. This is the pencil and pen doodle. Now here, for example, is the stamp. That's the stamped image. So I've taken the stamp, stamped it, masked it, because of course we can. We've got the masks as well in the set. Didn't mention that, did I? Let me show you this. Right, when you look here, you turn it over, bosh. So you've got the masks included also. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Right, now, so this is done with the stamp and this is done by hand. There's absolutely no difference at all. You can see it's the same artwork. I'll tell you what the difference is. This took 2 days. This took, I don't know, 2 minutes. Okay, there's your difference. So yeah, well worth it if you look at it like that. Now let me just, let's take this, let's put this precious artwork to one side and let's just put these stamps through their paces so you know how they work. I'll pop that there. Now the first thing I want to do, first of all, is we're going to take our stamp and we're going to mount it on a big, lovely, juicy mega mount. Right, so that's the first thing. So we've got it on a mount and then we've got a piece of stencil card, Clarity stencil card. Always good for everything. Paul, can you hear me all right? Is it working? I'd hate to be whittering away to myself. Right, so we've got the stencil card. We've got that here on the wall as well. I'll show you in a minute. And what we're going to do now is take our black ink pad. Let's just do very, very simple. Let's just ink up. This is as simple as it gets. The reason we're doing this is because we want to, if you like, we want to season our stamp. When it's brand new, the first stamping is always a little bit, you need to kind of get one layer of ink on first. It's like prepping the stamp or seasoning it. I've got a lovely, wet, juicy black archival. Okay. All right. And then what we're going to do is just flip it over and we'll just stamp it straight into a... Right, this is without anything else. This is just pressing on here now. Let me go to this camera and you're just going to press around the edge. I mean, if you've got a stamp positioner, that works perfectly. I'm just using a big, this is a 5 by 5 inch mega mount, but you'll see that what I'm doing is I'm pressing around the edge. If you find that it doesn't work because you can't get enough pressure on, it's always what you can do, right? You can take the craft mat, look, I'll show you, the one that's in the starter kit, because it's hard on one side, but it's soft on the other. Now, I know a lot of you know this, but there'll be people that don't know this. See, so you could put this underneath and you've got a bit more give then. In a minute, you watch, I'm going to turn it over and go, wish I'd done that. Right, so we just press on there until we're happy, and then we'll lift up, and we could even burnish the back if it sticks, right? Get a really good, don't forget, this is a huge stamp. And when we lift that off, look, we've got a perfect image. Oh, I love it when it works. Right, you ready? Look, really nice. And this was all doodled. We all did this together in the Shack. So if you're not familiar with the Shack, if you're not one of our shackers, then perhaps you should investigate that a little bit as well. You might enjoy it. So you can see now, when you look at this artwork, camera 2, when you look at this artwork, you can see that it's just beautiful for colouring in. Now, let me show you a couple of examples. My darling friend Dee helped me out with a lot of the samples, and I want to show you what she's done, just so that you get the idea. Now, what we've got here, this is the art, and this has been coloured in now, just stamped like we just did, and it's been coloured in with polychromos, right, with those pencils that we use in the Shack. You can use pergoliners, but you see how it's just adding just a little touch of colour. Looks really lovely. Now let's take another one. This is bright and beautiful. Same stamp. How different does that look? Right, now this one, this has been coloured in by Dee again. This has been done with alcohol pens. So what do I mean by alcohol pens? You could use, for example, Copics, Pro Markers, Spectral Noir. They've got a line of alcohol pens. There are so many different alcohol pens on the market. Thing about alcohol pens, let me show you. You see how it comes through at the back? So you'd only be able to do that if this weren't the inside of the artwork or the card. You'd have to layer it up on another card, wouldn't you? Like a card blank, which we also have. We've got loads of card blanks. But anyway, I'll show you. Look, see? So what you'd have to do, you take the card blanks, see, say, for example, a 7 by 7, and you trim it back, and then you'd mount that on there, and then it wouldn't matter that you've seeped through, that you've bled through the card. You see? It always looks nicer anyway. So I think that the cards always look better finished anyway if you layer it up. Matting and layering it, we call it in the card making game, don't we, girls and boys? Yeah, that's right. Right, so where were we? We were on the alcohol pens. No, we're not on the sherbet yet. Okay, so pencils, colouring pencils, colouring, alcohol colouring, watercolour, and you can see this is beautiful as well. Now, Dee's done this on watercolour paper. So, say for example the pergoliners. You know, doesn't that look lovely? Let me show you on here. Look, go up close. Look at that, magnificent. Thank you, Dee. On the pergoliners, for example, you've got the A pencils, the aqua pencils. Right, now those pergoliners, they would work beautifully like this. and you can, you know, we over the months, as we come here and we meet at the exhibition once a month, maybe next time I'll show you how to use the watercolour pencils. You know, you always got to try before you buy, really, or at least see before you buy, hey? But what beautiful, if you look at the artwork, right, if you look at the three hearts there, how different they look. And all we've done is literally, what I just did it for you, is just stamp that onto a piece of either clarity card or watercolour paper, and it looks just gorgeous. So let's just, moving on, let's take that, right, we'll put that to one side, and now I want to show you, for example, because it's a big stamp, so we could also, what else can we stamp it on? Let's just put it through its paces. I tell you what looks beautiful is when you stamp it onto our stamp board. Now, you may be familiar with this stamp board. This is our stamp board, all right? Let me show you what it looks like first, and then you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. We call it partial art, and what I mean by that is that you use a part of the stamp. Say, for example, look, this looks so nice, right? You take a heart, and then you just stamp part of the heart, if you forgive the expression, but it looks so nice. Now, you can colour it in if you like. Look, but it doesn't have to be a heart. You can use it on a circle. You can use it in different parts of the heart. Look, this looks really nice. You can put it on a square. Look, so this mount board, it's brilliant. It's like what you would frame a picture, you know, mount board. That's what it is. And it's top quality, and it can take the ink beautifully. So it's very, very nice to use, very nice to use. It's like, you could call it stamp board, you could call it art board, you could also call it a mixed media board or a multimedia board. It will take paint, it will take pastes. You can't hose it with water. It will buckle a little bit if you hose it, but you can certainly spritz it with water and it won't blister. Okay, it will buckle if you really saturate it, but why would you do that anyway? Okay, I just wanted to explain. It's very nice. I would call it multimedia artboard. All right, stamps up gorgeous. So let's have a look. For example, let's just do it, and you'll see what I mean. If we look at the actual stamp board, you'll see here we've got loads of different shapes. So you've got triangles, you've got circles. Let's have a look. You've got squares, hearts, triangles and circles. Right? It's a really, really good buy. You get loads. You've got 4 shapes. You get 3 different sizes of each shape, and you get 5 of each size. So that's a lot of stamp board. It's a lot of art, actually. Now, let's just, for example, let's take a heart. I'll show you how it works. It's very simple. Take a heart, and then take your stamp, take an ink pad, and then let's just say, I always think it's a good idea. Are you stamping along with me, or are you just watching for a minute? It's all right. We'll get to a really lovely project in a minute. So you decide which bit you want to do. Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that? Right, decide where you want to go. Right, so that's the side, and then ink up that side. Okay, that's it. I'll show you a couple of tricks. Ink up that side until you're happy with the amount of ink you've got. It's a fast drying ink, so you've got to get a bit of a wriggle on, and then just stamp it like that. And again, you're going to press on the side, obviously, that's on the board. Okay, so you press on that side, and then just be aware that it has an edge, it has a lip. So just press down. The reason you've got to put quite a bit of pressure on, you're working with a big stamp here. Let's have a look. Okay, look, it's only 1/4 past. Woohoo! There, nice. You see? And then when that's dry, you go back to your colouring, you can do all that. It's entirely up to you, but it looks really lovely. And like I say, it doesn't have to be a heart, it can be a circle, it can be a triangle. The squares look gorgeous. This is what we call partial art. If you're new to the world of clarity, we've got some beautiful doodleology stamps by Cherry Green. I mean, we do have a marvellous selection of clarity stamps really, don't we? And then once you've done this, you let it dry, and then it's up to you whether you want to add watercolour or it's your call. But because these are also double-sided, you can stamp on the back as well. So you can make mobiles, you know, like you can make dangles and mobiles, and yeah, it's really nice. It's just really nice. And you don't have to put two together. You could just stamp straight on the back, and it makes really lovely decorations, you know, if you like that kind of thing. I like hanging things from the ceiling. Right, so we've done that in black. I think that's cool. Right, we've got it in black now. Now, I've got some ink on there, so I'll just blot this to get rid of the black, because I want to try it in a different colour. Let's see how it looks with a different colour. And then, so we're just putting it through its paces. There you go. Now, I'm telling you, you could get some beautiful backgrounds like second and third generation ink. If you're not a stamper, right, when we talk about second generation and third generation, it's like taking a stamp and going ink it, ink, blot, plot. You see, when you blot it, then when you plot it, the second generation. So it's ink, plot, one generation, stamp again, second generation, stamp again, third generation. So often you'll go, you know, blot, 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 blot. And these archival inks, they tend to really be, it just gets lighter and more faded as it goes. Very good. So now you could get some fantastic backgrounds just by using the blots, you know? Nice. Okay, everybody happy? Let's have a look then at red. Let's do this in red. So I'm going to use red geranium. There you go, there's a nice colour. Red geranium archival. And I'll get a bit of white copy paper. Actually, I'll use that bit, waste not, want not. There you go, we'll get that. And then what I'm going to do is take, for example, let me show you how to, let's take the smaller one and let's completely cover it. So this time we'll do it a little bit differently. We'll take our stamp, and what we're going to do now is put this down on top, right? So that's going to be the front. And rather than press the stamp down onto the board, I'm going to take the board and put the board, because I can position it, see, I can see exactly where I'm going to put it. And we're going to get complete coverage. Right, red. Okay, nice. Look, it says new. New ink pad. My red ink pad was a little bit dried out, so I treated myself to a new one on this auspicious occasion. Right. So we'll ink up, get some good ink going. There we go. It may be a little bit black, but that's all right too. Right, there you go. So now I'm going to take that, turn it round, and I'm going to actually set it exactly down where I want it to be, like that. Right, and then I'm going to press. So you've got choices. You can either take the stamp to the board, or the board to the stamp. And what I'm doing now is just rubbing the back to make sure that I get... Now, let me give you a tip. I'm going to just take my hands off there gently. If I wanted to do this on both sides, then what I would do, so because the chances of you getting a little bit of ink on here and then smearing it are pretty... Right? So what I would suggest is that you do this. And now I can put a bit of copy paper over the top. Now watch, I can press all the way around, and I don't have to worry about getting my hands on. I can really get a lovely burnish going. Let's call it a burnish. I've got a plan here as well. I'm deliberately going around the outside. I wonder if we'll get a good print off that. I'm blotting it. Look, see? Ah, yeah, nice frame. Nice frame, hey? Let's have a look. See? Doesn't that look cool? If I'd positioned it a little bit better, it'd be even cooler. But that's all right, you get the picture, don't you? Now what we've got to do now is come back to this one. We're just going to lift this off now and make sure that we get oh yeah, it's beautiful. And it's got a little bit of that black going on. You know, it picked a bit of the black off. Let's take a look. But really nice, actually. Just hold it up there. It's cool, isn't it? Yeah, so you've got, because it was smaller than the image, you've got complete coverage. Now, let's have a look at a couple of other ones that I've already done. Here's a couple I did earlier. There's one, large. Let's come to this camera. See, there's a large one. There's the partial art one that we were talking about. That looks cool too, doesn't it? Right? And here's one that I did in case this didn't work. Hey, listen, at the end of 4 days at the NEC, I've usually got about 100 of these. Yeah, and then I never want to do it again, not for another 6 months. Are you all right? Are you enjoying this? I told you I'd keep it simple. Partial art. In a minute, we're going to move on to the lettering. Now, let me show you a couple of little tricks as well. Let's do a couple of little finishing tricks. If you have a look at this one, let's take this one here. Let's have a look at this one here. And what you'll notice is it's got a really beautiful edge. See the sharp red? Can you see that? Let it focus. Hang on. Right. You see the red all the way along the edge? As opposed to no red. See, it's just white, isn't it? So I want to show you something. A couple of little finishing tricks. First of all, brushes. Oh, let's go to this camera. Sorry to flick around the cameras. I'm on me Jack Jones here. It's only me. You know, when we do the NEC, like here, this is, let's say, I don't know, 6 foot. Yeah? That's it. When we go to the NEC, sometimes our stand, if you've been there, our stand is over 20 metres. Over 20 metres. It just goes on and on and on. And then somebody will come, and I'm always at one end, and then Paul's right at the other end, right? And then someone will come to me and say, excuse me, can you direct me towards the starter kit for Groovy, which is at that end? And then this is it. And Heather must do 10 miles a day running up and down. Or if I need a break, then I run off. I'll go and get it for you. We run miles. So this is great because it's very, very touchable. Everything's touchable here, which I like. And one of the things which I'd now be running to the other end of the hall for, is our Perga colours, right? Perga colours exclusive. These are cool, and I want to show you, because these are pens, felt tip pens, right? And I'll just show you a little trick, because it's dead easy. It's ever so obvious once you realise it. We've got the pens. That's the first thing I want to show you. Let me just grab a red one. And then the other thing I want to show you is the brushes. Right, brushes. These are they. Set of 4 brushes. You know, I was saying to Paul this morning when we set this up, I said the thing is that we really do use the same things over and over and over again. So whilst it might look like, wow, that's a hell of a stash, really, if you follow me, there's an initial sort of setup. It's almost like a setup. And then after that, I just keep going back to the same gear all the time. What we do change is the designs. Now the brushes, there's 4 of them in a pack, different sizes, really nice, and they're like sash brushes, so they're pointed, they're synthetic, very, very lovely, great for stencil work, but they're also great for edging. So I want to show you how they work. Let me just put this back on the stand. It's over here if you want it. Right, ready? Okay, so I'm going to use the red one, and I'm going to use actually the same ink that we use to ink up. It's not, you don't have to use dye-based inks, you can use any ink you like. Right, so once you've loaded your brush, okay, which one's this? Red geranium, nice. Right, so you get rid of the excess just to make sure that you haven't overcooked it. And let's show you with this one. This is nice with the partial art. So I've got choices. If I want, I can go through like this, right? And I'm just going to add, like this, a little edge. And you'll see what I'm just catching the board. It's really lovely. Okay, catch the board. Now, if I move the brush over it like this, look, I splay it a bit, then In fact, it's probably even, if I want to get more of a halo, if I come in like this, you'll watch, I'll get a really lovely, like, cloudy effect, right? So I'm on here, but I'm flicking it in like that. See? So that looks pretty cool. So that's a way of kind of getting a really lovely misty, this is what it looks like when it's done. It's very pretty, you see? That's quite nice. So that's the brushes, but let me show you, and I'm going to show you on the side. When you look at the pens now, the pens have got different nibs. They've got a big bullet nib like that, but they've also got a really fine nib for drawing and doodling. What I'm going to go to, these are great. Right, I'm going to go to the fat one. Now you'll see that the fat nib, it protrudes quite a lot. Okay, and therein lies the secret. I'm not going to use the tip, I'm going to use the side. So you'll see now, just put the lid on there so I don't lose it, hang on. And what we're going to do, you just dig in and then you just go round and you actually use the side to colour it. Do you see? It's not the tip, it's the side. Also, of course, it's great for tracing round, but check it out. See, so you hold the pen upright and then you just drag, and as you go round, it's the side of the pen that's doing the job for you. See? And it's absolutely perfect, isn't it? It's absolutely perfect. And there's a black one in there as well. It's all any colour you like, so whatever colour you use here, you can add a really sharp edge like that. Okay, so that's good. Am I saying okay a lot? That's nerves, you know. Come on, I don't know why I'm nervous. It's not like I don't know you all already. Okay, so that's how that works. And now the next thing I wanted to show you was a little finishing trick with, if we take that, let's have a look. If we take that little pen, that little triangle like so, right? Let's assume we've done that one, and now we're going to finish it off. Now this is quite nice too. So this is a feel good heart, feel good factor. Here are, now these are the stickers. These are very cool too. So I've got a bit of scrap. Right, I've just cut a piece of white. I've got a bit of red as well. I mean, it's up to you what you fancy. I'm going to go with this colour here. Right, it's just a little piece. It's sort of off-white, the same colour as the background. And here, for example, it says safe, happy. Those are the two. They were on this sticker sheet, because there's several books of these now. The feel good one, it kind of came to life, didn't it, when we started doing the Shack. So if I just put this here like that, and then I cut the and creative up because it was there you go. So I pop that on there like that, because these two are together, so you absolutely can cut them up. Now before I do that, let me just do this. Actually, I'll leave that one open. If I take my double-sided adhesive, let's have a look. Where am I going to get to? I don't want to waste it. I'll just make a little nick like that. So now I know how far to go. Right, there's my little nick. And then all I'm going to do, hang on, is take that like that, pull that through there like so. That'll work. Right, that'll do. And then right, okay. So it's just little tricks and tips really so far, isn't it? It's all right, we're halfway through, and in a minute we're going to get on to the big cheese. Right, so let's do that. Let's cut that off there like that. Right, that's that done. These scissors are a bit ropey, are they? Do I need better scissors than this? Right, so that's that bit done. And then I'm just going to cut these bits up. There you go. Safe, happy, and creative. There you are. And then all you do, you see, you're making your own toppers, your own stickers. And once you decide how you want it to look, safe, happy, and see, it's lovely, creative. There you go. You decide where you want to put it. Do you want to tighten it? I always think it looks better when it's a little bit tighter. And then all you do is, once you've done that, you just peel the backing paper off the back. You just take the red skin off the back like that, and then down it goes. And it's not coming off, that's for sure. Put the first one in, then the rest will follow. So you understand how that works. It's very simple. See, just decide where you want it to, what you want it to look like. Right, so that'll do. I don't think I need to show you how to do that, do I? There you go. But you see how just with one stamp you can make such a, it's so cool, right? So let's just take that away now. We'll put that over there. How are you doing? Paul, is everything okay? Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right? Good. So this is normally where we have a little break. But we're not having a little break, we're going to crack on. Crack on. So I've done that and I've done that and I've done that. So the next thing I want to show you, let me show you some artwork. That's a good idea. I've got some beautiful artwork. Now Dee did a lovely piece of artwork. You see, now that's using stamp board. Check it out. Now that's stamp board as well, right? Which is lovely. And this is another one. Look, now this one is using the letters in the inside, which is where we're going to go to now. Okay, so just take a look at those pieces of artwork now, and I will just find my next demo for you. All right. So the next thing I want to do after I've done that is this is it now. This is where we're going to go to now. Right, I want to show you this one. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start learning how to use the mask. I think that's where we want to go to next. That's definite, right? So take that away and let's have a look at this, and we'll see how I ended up here. Okay, let me just find my bits. Just let me find my bits. I need a bit of stencil card. That's the first thing. Here we go. Bit of stencil card again. And then I need my stamps. Now this is where we get to look at other stamps. So we're going to look at the stamps that we used in these ones, right? So I want to show you, for example, how to use these. Now let's say, for example, you want to, you know the way we stamped this out full, but in the actual original artwork we had the love implanted in here, didn't we? So I want to show you how we do that. Now the first thing we're going to do, for example, to do that is we're going to stamp in black again. Let's stamp in black, but we're going to use from the stamps. Let's come to the stamps now. I want to show you. If we look at the pack of stamps, you'll see, if you look here, it's these two that we're interested in now. So what I need to do is stamp this up, mask it up, and then stamp the great big one over the top. That's how you get that, okay? It's easy. Once you realise the sequence, it's just all about the sequence. So let's take this, and let's take this word now. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could use one of the masks as well, which we will do. But for the moment, let's stick with the stamp set. We're still putting the stamp set through its paces. So now, for example, let me pop this down like that. Right, now, follow my thoughts. Are you stamping along with me now? Right, we'll keep it in the middle because it depends what we want to do, isn't it? So if we put that in the middle now, like so, in the middle of the stencil card. Right, let me show you the stencil card. Here it is. So it's 7 by 7 inches. There's a pack of 50. Great price. Good gear. That's a good old pile of stencil card, right? I tend to go to stencil card a lot. It's my kind of go-to, you know. So that's that stamp out of the set. Now, if I wanted to, where's that artwork? I've got so many piles of artwork here. Let me just, hang on a minute, I've got it here somewhere. Where? join in while I look for it. So that's the one I did earlier. Those are all the watercolour ones. Yeah, it's all right. It's over here. Yeah, there it is. Right, so if we look at this one, you can see that love is stamped in, but you have to put the love in first and then stamp over the top. And in the same way, you put the love in first and then stamp over the top. So I'm going to show you these two possibilities now, these two, all right? Now, so we've done that, and now we need the infill. You see, and if you look at these stamps, what you'll see is this stamp sits in that stamp absolutely perfectly. That's how they've been made, for this one to sit inside that one. This is cool. What I want to do now is take I'm going to take this ink pad and I'm going to use, these are great, they're like little sets. We've got 4 different sets. I'm going to use, we call it, this one will be called Golden Turmeric because it's the top. We always go to the top one. They're on the wall behind me, I'm sure. Where are they? Here they are, see? So you've got 4 different ones, but it's always the top left-hand yellow that tells you which one. So I'm going to take the Tenacious Teal out of the Golden Turmeric one, which will be that one there. Okay, if you want it, it's here. Right, now let's have a look. So we'll go back to this one, and I need to get my head over the top here, so I might go to the other camera, but I want to show you what I'm going to do first. Now I'm just going to dab some ink onto the love. Right, okay, 25:02. I'm aware of the time. I knew this was going to happen, but I've got a really nice demo I want to go to. Now let's take a makeup sponge, so I don't want it to be too dark, and let me just spread the ink out. When you get these inks, these artistry inks, they're dye-based, they're very juicy, and sometimes you just need to blot them almost like that. Let's blot it, okay? Now what I'm going to do, I'll come into this camera because I think it will help me, because then you see I can lean over and I'm hovering like this until I'm happy with the position, and then it's great because as you get down closer, it just falls into place. Right, so when I lift that off, it's absolutely perfect, right? And now I've filled in my love, I've coloured in my love. And the thing about it is, I could do the L in one colour, the O in another colour. With these little ink pads, you can get into the colours. The other thing is you take the ink pad and you can take your colour and you can paint with a makeup sponge. So it's up to you. I'm just going to keep it simple for now and just stick with Tenacious Teal. Next thing we want to do, let me show you, because if you look at this one, you'll see it's black down the bottom. It's dark, isn't it? Let's take the black, and this time what I want to do is just dib along the base like that. You can see it's quite blistery wet. Obviously I don't use the black one in this set as much as I use the Tenacious Teal. So I'll keep it in there like so. Again, I'm going to take my ink pad and I'm just going to dab the darkness, but I'm staying down the bottom. So I haven't re-inked the top, I've just re-inked the base. So you can change the colour, you see. And then what I'll do is, let's put that down there for a minute. I'll come back in and I'll go back and re-stamp, but with the depth down the bottom, with the dark colour down the bottom. So down you go until you're happy with the position, and then you press, and you'll find as soon as you do that, look, see, so now you've got a kind of a drop shadow. You see, it's like an ombre, and I don't mean a Spanish bloke. You see how it goes from light blue down to really dark grey, which is lovely. And that's how that works. I wonder if there's anything left. You know, I was talking about 2nd and 3rd generation ink. Let's see if there's anything left. Yeah, see? So this now is 2nd generation and 3rd generation ink. 4th generation ink. You see how you can, I mean, for a background, wouldn't that be lovely? Dip, 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 dip. Super, huh? Right, back to this one. Now, we've got choices now. What I could do is take my big stamp and stamp it straight over the top. But before I do that, I've got to cover this up, haven't I? And that's where enter now is the mask. So we're going to take our masks, and the masks are actually, they're exactly fitted. I think we're the only company in the world that actually makes masks to fit stamps, to fit their stamps, right? I'm going to use tweezers because it's just easier. And then all I'm going to do is just hover like that until I'm happy with the position. I think I'm going to come into this camera because I need to get over with my head. Then I can see exactly where it is, you see? And then I'm going to cover up my... If you don't get it exact, it really doesn't matter because you get a really cool drop shadow, and that's quite nice too, see? So you take your mask like this, and this is all leading up to a really super demo, and we're just doing, we're sort of putting the bits and pieces that we're using through their paces. Do you think we're going to take a bit longer than an hour? Do you think that'll be a problem? Do you think that'll be an issue if it takes a bit longer than an hour? See, when I'm at the NEC, I'm there for 8 hours a day. Just make sure that that one sits right. There you go. It's a circle, so that will work. And then we've got our E. So let's put our E in. The masks are reusable. You can use them again and again. Okay. Here we go. So you just put them back on their carrier sheet. Right. So now I've covered up my love, you see? And this point, you ink, I'm not going to do it with this, I'm going to do it with another stamp to show you the versatility. This is where you would ink this up, put that down, stamp that down, and that's how you end up with that lovely art there, you see? That's, you know, that's how we end up with that, except that this has got turquoise in the background. So that's how that works. What we're going to do is put a different background down. Now, let's have a look. If I take my core, he's in a hurry. Can you hear that? If I take my brush, and it's got a little bit of teal on it, not lots, but let's just get a little bit of a lovely... It's just a really nice way of making a simple background, okay? So you just dust a little bit of... There you go. And if you didn't want to put anything else on, you see, that covers up the area while you're doing that. Okay. And what we're going to use is another really nice set of stamps. Okay, so we do these mixed media stamps. We call them mixed impressions. Very, very lovely. And we've got this one here. I thought I'd use the Ocean Swirl, and I'll show you why. Dee did a beautiful piece of artwork using the Ocean Swirl, and I thought, right, I'm going to use the same stamp, but put it into a different setting for you. So have a look at this stamp, and you'll see it's a great price as well. I mean, I think it's £20, isn't it, Paul, for the pair? So you've got these 3 stamps here. This is an A6 plate. These are massive, but you've also got that huge texture plate. You know, so you think about all the things that I've been talking about taking that stamp board and partial art. This is perfect for that sort of stuff. And the stamp that I'm going to use is this one here. I just want to use this little one. The smallest one in the pack is the one I'm going to use. So let's have a look at what Dee did, which was what kind of motivated me to show you. If I show you the artwork that Dee did, you'll get it. You'll get it. Look, it's so nice. So check this out. So what Dee's done is she used one of our masks, right, which is what we're going to do in a minute. And then this here is that stamp. This is exactly the same stamp, look, except I've used it with the love in the foreground, and Dee used it with a mask. And then Dee used our lovely fairies, our wee fairies. Keep looking up, see, uplifting. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, so she's used... Oh yeah, and the other Ocean Swirl in the background in grey, and then a teal colour here. Really nice. And a chevron, that's from one of our journaling sets. Beautiful, Dee. Right, so what I want to do now is take my... I'll take my stamp. This is what I use. Right, I'm going to take this stamp. Now, let me show you something. Instead of mounting it onto a mount, like a solid acrylic mount, I'm going to use a piece of acetate. And the reason I do that is so that I've got a little bit more flexibility. And you'll see, if you don't want to have the whole stamp, you just push down the bit you want, right? Because it's bendable, this makes it a lot easier. So let me show you. If I'll go back to that same colour again. I'll use the same teal as I used for the thingy, the letter itself, right? From the golden turmeric set. So we'll use the same teal and we'll just ink up the stamp. You see, just take a bit of the ink, and I'll do first generation and then I'll do second generation so you can see the difference. Okay, so we ink up. You could use a brayer, you know, as well to ink up a stamp. That's always handy to spread the ink if you like. Right, I'm just going to distribute it so it's not blotchy and patchy. Right, so we just spread it out with a makeup sponge. Easy, right? And then what I'll do is I'll decide how. See, the nice thing about artistry inks, of course, is that they don't dry so fast like the archivals. You've got to get a bit of a wriggle on. So now, for example, I'll just pop that down there. Now, if I press a little bit here, I can keep this side up. See, I don't have to have a full, or I can flatten the whole thing out. But either way, you see how you get parts. See, I love that look, don't you? Now here, because I didn't press down on that bit, that part of the stamp's not there. Do you see? But maybe when I turn this around now, I'll press on that bit this time. So that bit will come out and this bit will be more faded because this is second generation. Do you remember what I showed you earlier? Right, let's have a look. Right, this should work. Before I lift it up, I want to have a look. You're nice. So, you see how it does look good, doesn't it? It does look good. And then if you want, you could take your makeup sponge and you know that there will be ink on the mask. So if you wanted to, you could just smooth it in like this, look. And it just kind of clouds things a bit. Just take the makeup sponge. And if you sweep in one direction, you sort of get a drop shadow, right? There you go. And you're cleaning your mask at the same time. That's useful. And then what you're going to do there is you can take this and you're going to pop it back on. Let's have a look. Put that back in its cupboard, Barbara. Right, and then we'll take the masks, just lift them off, and you'll see, and if you've got a little bit of a drop shadow where you didn't put it on absolutely straight, it doesn't matter at all. You can go in afterwards if it's a problem. But I don't mind that little white highlight. Let's call it a highlight. There you go. Nice, eh? But you can see how it's really cool. And I want to show you something else as well. Again, in this set, and then we'll crack on. Let me show you. Right, look. Nice, eh? Put that one down there for a minute. If you look at the set, there's also, I want to show you. If you look at the set, you might miss these. See these lovely little hearts? These are so cool. These are so cool. Lucy put these in. She's so clever. She just added them and they look so nice. So I've mounted them on little, I want to show you. Look, 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 look how beautiful they are. So I'll take my little Tenacious Teal ink pad, and you'll see there are 4 hearts. Watch this. So you've got the outer edge, you've got this rim, right, like that. Look, so you've got that one. Then you've got this one, which is absolutely spectacular. It looks like we've been going, name that tune. Hello, mother. Hello, father. Look, see the little dots? Absolutely amazing. And then we've got one that's got that lovely grid work, superb. And then we've got a solid one, which is the infill again, the complete infill. And they all sit absolutely perfectly. Let me show you up close on this camera. You can see they all sit perfectly. Let it just focus a moment. Hang on, come on, Gray, focus. There you go, focus. See that one there? They all fit inside that frame there. Now I want to show you a masterpiece, like a beautiful piece of artwork from Dee. And you'll think, oh, that looks like one of Dee's designer papers. Well, it isn't. It isn't. Right, watch this. Now, if you look at the artwork here, you'll see, and this is all recapping now, this is going to be a masterclass another day. But you see, there's our heart, and it's got embossed in gold down here, and then in copper. But look at this back paper. Now you think that that's a designer paper, but it isn't. It's our hearts. It's the outer one with all the different infills. Doesn't that look fabulous? And you know how that's been done, because that's the other thing about those infill stamps. You can use them with Versamark and then emboss with thermographic powder. So you see, that's how that's been done. Isn't that clever? You get it? So that's just been done. You got the outline, and then Dee took the infill one, this one, Versamark, straight over the top, gold and copper powder, heat embossed, and that's how that works. Isn't that fabulous? Hey? I know. I mean, it's all go here. It's all go. So that's that, that's that, that's that, that's that, that's that. Oh, and now, okay, so sometimes, like you do a piece of artwork, you do some artwork. Let's take this one, right? And then there are gaps like this. You see the little gaps here? Well, let's just check out these hearts, because I think that they would sit absolutely, maybe less is more, you don't want to go mad, so decide which one you want to use first, right? I'm particularly partial to the dotty one, and I think if I go straight to task, let's have a look. I reckon if I put that there like that, see, and then I put that there. Now, do I want to use first generation or second generation ink? I'm almost tempted to say second generation. So I'm going to go ink, blot, plot. Fabulous. Subtle, see? And because I've gone subtle, I could even do one up there. Go again. Right, ink, blot, plot. Bingo. That look lovely. You see how they complement, don't they? Don't they look pretty? There you go. So that's me now putting these stamps through their paces. We're not finished yet though. Now we're going to make a card. It's going to take longer. It's all right though. It's okay. My right, my rules. There you go. If you get fed up, you can always switch me off. But the good news is I switched me off. So we can hang out here at Ali Pali or the NEC or wherever you think we are, wherever you'd like to be right now. If you could teleport yourself, that's where we are right now. So I want to show you, let's have a look at this card now. Now let's take a look at this one. So this is easy. Let's see if we can figure out how we did it. Now the first thing we need to know is that we've used this, haven't we? We've used these. So let's have a look. First thing we've got to do, have a think. First thing we've got to do, we need a piece of card. So let's get a bit of card. Let's deconstruct it. It's not hard, you know. It's just about figuring it out bit by bit. So we've got a piece of card, and then what we need to do is find our masks. Now we haven't touched these yet. Look, smile when your heart is breaking. Right, look, luck, smile. We'll go with smile. Let's stick to the plan, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to use the outside, not the inside. I've lost my heart. I've lost my heart. Don't know where it went. Right. But what I want is this bit. This bit is what I need, see? So let me show you a trick. If I pop this down this way round, it'd probably be better if I put it on a bit of copy paper, otherwise you can't see a thing, right? Oh, there's that other bit of artwork. That'll do. Right, hang on, what did I just drop on the floor? I spent quite a lot of time on my hands and knees at the NEC. Does it feel like you're at the NEC? Does it? It's got to be a lot more comfortable. Hey? Right, here we go. You ready? So what we've got now is we've got to pick this up. So I'll take my piece of card, and I've got to decide where I want it to be. So I can use the writing on. It's a lot easier, especially the first time round, to do this. Look, I'll take my piece of card and I'll line it up. Right, I know where the front bit is. That'll do. And then I'm going to pop that down like so, and it's going to be straight because I'm using this edge, see? Then when I turn it over, that's good enough, right? And then I'm going to take these bits, again, where did I put those tweezers? Oh, good job, Gray. You put them back where to find them. Right, and then I'm going to use this bit. So now what I'm doing is I'm using this bit now. Sometimes you get little bits come off. See, so this is going to create that M there, like that. Right, that'll do. Nice. And then I've got the E bit in the middle, Sue, as well. So you've got to kind of take your time with these bits because you don't want to lose the pieces. Let's put that in there like that. Nice. So now I've got that. Peach. Heart's in the right place. Heart's in the right place. Ah. Right, now I need some yellow. So what can I use? Well, I can go back to my golden turmeric. So if you're going to buy one, get that one. Not because we've got loads in the cupboard, but you've already got the tenacious teal, golden turmeric, black shadow. Let's use golden turmeric. And we'll use a makeup sponge. And what we're going to do is put the yellow in the background. Right, good. This will work. So we're going to do a bit of infilling. Here we go. And we're going to pound. Let me make a suggestion. Hang on, I've got a little bit of... Right. Pound instead of smear. You can smear if you like sweep. Sweep's a better word than smear, really, isn't it? Right? But what we're going to do is pound so that we don't catch the mask, especially if you've used it a few times. Okay, so let's get got a bit of yellow going. That'll do. Right, we've done the yellow, and then we need another colour. So I might dip into a different colour now. I'm going to go with, you could use spiced marmalade. So you don't have to just use artistry inks. There's loads of different sorts of inks, aren't there? Let's have a look what else I've got here. See, the best part of this is, we're not running out of time. Orange popsicle. There you go. Let's use that one. We'll run out of time when we're finished. There we are. As long as you're not in a rush, are you? So we're going to do this. This would be nice. Add a bit of yellow, a bit of orange. So what we're doing is exactly the same as we did with the stamp with the infill, except we're using a mask. So of course we haven't got a stamp for it. So we're going to create one. And this is where it all ties back to the beginning again. You ready? All right, so you've got to do as much as you've got to be, oh, see, that's what happens when you smear, Gray. Do as you say and not, you know what I mean? Do as you say, do as you do, or whatever it is. Right, now we've done that. Okie dokie. So we're happy with that. Now we've got to get our stamp back, because if you look, right, let's have a look up close. And now you're going to see how we infill this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take our stamp and take our red ink pad. You can use, look, red geranium again, or vermilion. There's lots of different ones, whichever one you fancy. Go with vermilion this time. See what that looks like. Right, and then we're going to ink up our stamp. You enjoying this? I'm going to go and lie down in a minute. I think it's just fun, especially if you're stamping along. I hope I didn't go too far. I deliberately didn't go too fast. Look, we've been going an hour now, and we haven't really gone fast, have we? We've done loads of different bits and pieces. Now, let me do something that I said earlier on. Where's that? Just stay there, don't go away. I'm sure I had a black, here it is, a black mat, because it's easier for me just to slide that under there, so that, do you remember what I was saying about it being a bit softer? Okay, let's have a look. So what we're going to do now is stamp through the aperture, okay? So we do that, got some nice red ink, put that down there, flip that round. Ah, hang on a minute. Yeah, no, that works fine. And then we're going to go, because it's not going to go over anything because we're on a bit of scrap anyway, aren't we? I just thought, hang on a minute, have I got to cover up the card? But I haven't. So now what we're going to do is push through here. Have a look. So we've flipped it over, we've got the red ink, and now we're going to push through. See, and you can see, look, keep your eye over here. When I push, see how it's moving? That's because underneath is soft. And so that way, it makes it a lot easier if you... Should be fine, I reckon. Like that. And you can always... Oh, that's that lovely piece of artwork I've used, look. So you just rub through there to get all the... Thing about the masks is, because they're so thin... Yeah, nice. Because they're so thin, you get a really good impression. And you can see there's lots of redness on here. Now, I've got choices. If I want to, I can take that red and I've got choices. If there's a bit like, there's a little tiny bit, it's a little bit lost there. So I can sweep this in and I can just add, like, this is nice. I mean, I bet somebody's asking, can you stamp kiss? Yeah, you can. So where you take the stamp and you stamp onto, but that's another for another day, you know, stamp kissing. That takes a bit of practice. Right, let's have a look here. So we're just going to smear that artwork in, just the ink, because it's all loaded, isn't it? It's going to be lovely when it's done, right? See? So just smear it in. So you get a bit of depth, and you get the pattern from the thing as well, right? And then what we're going to do now is we're going to lift this off, and you'll see as you lift this away, you've got your lovely, hang on, you've got to be careful that you don't tear it, so you kind of go with the flow, go with the area. Do you see? But that's how, let me find a piece of, I'll just put it on a bit of copy paper for the moment so that I don't lose it, and then I'll clean it up later when you're all gone. And then I'll take my, where's my my tweezers, and I'll just, I can't find my tweezers now. Right, just peel that off. I'll keep that with my other part so I can replace it on my, right, hang on, there. But that is how you get that smile, how you get this smile. You see, it's just a different colour, but that's exactly the same, like that. And it's on this piece of card. So let me just, let me fast forward and let me show you now. There, this one's dry, right? But you can see exactly how it works. And then as far as the edging goes, it goes right back to what we were doing earlier on. Let me come onto a hard surface so you can see. Now, do you remember earlier we were talking about these? Well, that's all it is. The edging on here is just run up on a ruler. Look, I'll show you. Just go to here. You just run along a ruler with those Perga colours and you get that lovely edge. See? Nice. And then the other thing is, if you look at the colour in the background, because that makes all the difference, where did we find that colour? Right, well, we found that colour in the Shenandoah papers. Look, see the designer paper? So these are the different papers. And that's the one that we've used in the background. So that's why we've gone with oranges and yellows. So the trick is to go to whichever colour you decide, pick the paper background first, and then work your way towards the smile. You get it? So that's how that works. So you can see now how you use the masks as well. You don't only use the letters, you use the outside bit as well. This is as important, this bit, the negative part, is as important as the positive part. You see, like wish, I've already got it on the back, and it's lovely. It all comes out with one piece, and so that I could use and then put the heart over the top. See, so and then you're back to that kind of art again. So it's whichever way you want to go. This is just coming, this is an inverted version of it. Do you get it? Now, to finish on, right, to finish on, I know it's flown, hasn't it? It's flown. I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. I hope you've enjoyed coming to the stand. What's been great is that you haven't had to stand. You've been able to sit in the comfort of your own homes. You haven't had to wear a mask. You haven't been jostled around. Several people said, "Cool, I always had to wait until there was a slot so I could get in the front because I'm short," you know. So in that regard, it's more relaxing for you, certainly, you know. But what I wanted to show you is this. So we've figured out how to do this. We know now how you can get inside to put your, this is dry now, so it's ready to go, yeah? So I can put my stripes on there and then mount it on a piece of card. But what I wanted to show you was one last thing. And while I'm looking for it, let me show you some art. Look, this is beautiful. There you go. Let me show you some samples. Yeah? Isn't that lovely? Love and light with that beautiful stencil in the background, and that's just brushed. So these are covered over with the masks, right? The word mask, this part, and then brushed over the stencil in the background. Then we know this one is gorgeous. This is the Pebble Beach one. That's lovely. I showed you this. Now this is done kiss stamping actually, which takes some practice. And then this one, again, it's one of our masks, and then a stencil in the background. Doesn't that look fabulous? So we ought to do a step-by-step of that. And now I want to show you one with luck, because we all need a little bit of luck right now. We sure do, don't we? So let me show you something to do with luck. Now, if you take luck, and we're going to go right through to where we were before, like that, right? I did it in red as well. Look, see? So I've done one with red already. Look, it looks really nice. Let me show you. Okay, I just want to show you this little finishing trick. This is what we'll end on. And what we've done now, right, to do this, we've done exactly what we did with the smile. Ready? It's exactly the same. It's no different, except I've done it with luck instead. Okay, so I've done it with luck. Now, let me get my little bits that I need to do this job. Look, tell me I'm not organised. There you go, and my little eraser as well, and a couple of grey pencils. And what we're going to do, this is where, oh you shackers, you'll know this. So you've done this, and then you're going to take your 01. Right, do you remember? We've got these, haven't we? Where are they? There they are, Bridge to Art. Okay, these are those pens that we use. No, we're running against the clock here, but I can show you this and then we'll call it a day, all right? So for example, around the outside, instead of using the stamp, because we don't have a stamp for luck, these are all masks, aren't they? So what we're going to do, in order to make this pop, see how that looks quite flat, but that looks really three-dimensional? And you could do exactly the same thing with the smile as well, right? I'm just showing you a different alternative. So for example, now what you're going to do is you're going to just get in the groove. Right, here we go. And you're going to take your pen and you're going to sweep. And you take your 01, and we know this from the Shack when we do this, don't we? You kind of go, you keep your eye on the road ahead, and then you stop when you turn the artwork, make the artwork come to you. That helps a lot, right? And then you just pull the pen lightly, gently, 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 gently. You don't have to press hard. Just gently does it. And then move the artwork round. It doesn't take long to do this. It really does not, right? So you just work your way around. Let's just do a couple of letters. Now here you've got to decide. Is the L in front or behind? So this time, last time I went in front, this time I'm going to put the U in front of the L. So I'm going to come round like that, and the U is going to be in front of the C as well. See, so you decide the layer. You decide where it's going to be. See? And if I come up close, let's have a look. See how we're just outlining? So we've done 2, you just do the next 2, right? So it's a piece of cake. That bit's a piece of cake. What's the time? 4:10 already. Oh boy, oh boy. Is there a limit on how long we're allowed to do this? Let me just show you this. I hate to not finish it really, but it'll be all right. There you go. I don't want to rush it, and I want to finish it. So there you go. I don't want to rush it because I know that you're doing it with me. Loads of you are. I know you are. So I think I'll put the K in front of the C like that. See? 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 And when you've done this, like this, all the way around, it's exactly the same as the stamp in the beginning, love, except we're framing our artwork. And you know how we got, just to recap, you know how we got the inside? We covered up the outside with the mask part, didn't we, with this bit? And then we stamped the heart in over the top. So it's really clever because it looks so doodled, doesn't it? It looks so zentangled. Right, here we go. Go like that. Right, so now we've done that. Now here comes the next bit. Oh, you shackers. Now you know what we're going to do. Take a piece of tracing paper because we want to write good here. We want to write good. Good. Good luck. So you know how we do this. You're going to write until you're happy. So you air write. You know how we do it in the Shack Shack? So we're going to do some air writing. Let's have a look. That's going to look quite good. I like that. And now I'm going to go again until I'm happy with it. Do you see? It's only on the tracing paper. I'm not doing it on the actual artwork, am I? I'm doing it on a bit of tracing paper. And that's the key. See, until I'm happy. When I'm real happy with it, I think that's going to be about right. What pencil am I using? I'm using an HB pencil because it's sort of bog standard and it's going to give me enough lead to do a transfer. Right, and I could do a little dot there. That's going to look good right there like that. Now what I've got to do though is just quickly, let me just do this. I've got to just transfer. I've got to put some lead on the back now. Right, so now I've got that. I've traced that the wrong way around. Now I'll put this back in place. You see? So now I know where I want to put it, like that, because luck is great, but good luck is what you would send to somebody, isn't it? Right, here we go. So when I do this now, like that, and I take that away, I've got my word now. I've got it exactly where I want it. Now I'm going to take my number 1 thing back again, my 01 micron pen, and now I'm going to slowly scribe. There you go. And always stop when you get to a join, so that if you need to think about what you're doing, here we go. Round we go again. And then I'm going to get to a join, and then I'm going to come back on myself. Slowly does it. Perfect. See? And then I've got my good, and then I get my pencil that matches. So maybe an orange would be nice. So let's give myself a couple of opportunities to actually colour something in, see? So I could do that and that. I could make a little dot there, and I could even put a little, that looks good, doesn't it? See, this is where you become the artist. In fact, what about, yeah, I could put a little bit in there as well. Right, so I can then colour this bit in, look, and then it all ties in. You might want to rub out the pencil lines first. Easier now than, should have done it before I coloured in, but that's all right, you get the picture. There you go, see, good luck. Good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck. And then the only other thing we've got to do is put the drop shadow on. See how this one looks as if you could put your fingers in underneath it? All you do is take your, you know this from the Shack. Give yourself a, and then just come down here with the chisel like that, and then bring your pencil down like that. Up we go, and you just stay on that edge there, and then always down to the left, down to the left. Just keep remembering, down and to the left. So we've got, there you go, on this side, always keep it on the same side. So then it's gonna, and that's what gives you the illusion. And I would suggest that you always do a lighter colour first. So that boring beige that I always use, warm grey number 2, right? Works like a dream. Sorry I've gone on a bit this time, but you know, it takes as long as it takes, this stuff, doesn't it? Hey, there you go. See? So you get a lovely drop shadow in like that. And then once you've gone in with your light colour, your warm colour, does that look good? It does, doesn't it? See how it's starting to look three-dimensional? Then you go in with the darker one, but this time go a little bit tighter to the artwork. So this time I'm going to stay right tight on the line art. Let me just get a little bit of a, that's it. And then you just go again, just keep going. Yeah, that's it. Just stay on that edge. And you'll see that it suddenly looks as if the letters could just jump off the page. There you go. And when you get to a letter that's in front of another one, cut across it like that. Because it's supposed to be, isn't it? See? It stands proud then. There you go. And then you just kiss that line, kiss the line and stay tight on the edge. See? I mean, I'm rushing it a little bit now, shouldn't really. It's not part of the game, is it? I hope you've enjoyed today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that you get the stamps and you put them through their paces and you get creative with the masks. The masks are fabulous. There you go. Look at that. Doesn't that look like you could just tuck your fingers in underneath it? Good luck, good luck, good luck. Let's have a look up close. There. See? Doesn't that look pretty? Very simple, very effective. So my friends, that brings us to the end of the first moment of clarity. I hope that you enjoyed it. Paul, thank you so much for your help. I overran by 15 minutes and you know what? That's okay. So from all of us here at the exhibition, safe travels, stay home, be good, and I'll see you on Monday at 10 o'clock in the Shack. Have a great weekend. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.